Uh, Welcome, Mr. Patrick. I'm being early if you're on time, really. Welcome, everybody. Appreciate you guys being here. Good evening, everybody. We'll get started here in a little bit. Another evening. Good evening, everybody. I feel like welcome to Sunday Jazz, where
I'm all relaxed.
right. So we'll get started here in a few more minutes. Appreciate you guys being here. Special guest tonight is Destinee. We'll be talking about the auto appraisal side of things. And so we talk about pathways and different pathways that you can get into. So again, this is one of those things, right? So appreciate y'all. Appreciate you guys coming in early, because if you're on time, welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Well, definitely appreciate you guys being here. So welcome to today's Sunday sessions brought to you by the Insurance Career Training Center. I definitely appreciate you guys being here. Special guest this evening, Miss Destinee. Definitely appreciate you being here as well. So out of respect for you guys, it's time. We'll go ahead and get started. So, well, where am I at? Where am I at? Man. So welcome to the Insurance Career Training Center Sunday Sessions, sponsored by ALA of Texas, All Lines Adjusters of Texas, which is a small IA firm here in the state of Texas, looking to partner with firms and other IA firms to provide assistance for homeowners for all sorts of things, right? So we definitely got a few things planned in the future. We are definitely still working on a lot of things, but who is and who are we, right? So our main mission is to educate our youth and community, right? So when I first got into insurance adjusting, there was nobody really sharing the opportunity. I actually came about it on a humbug, on accident, doing something else in the insurance industry, but it's grown from me, and our community just continues to expand, right? So started with the kids started making money, mama and them wanted the end, right? So we extended it to the youth and community program, where we want to educate you guys about all of the opportunity, because it's not just about property adjusting or auto adjusting, which we're going to talk about auto. My main specialty is property, but Miss Roberta, workers' comp, you got bodily injury, you got all kinds of things. Everything that has insurance on it has to have an adjuster to assess the damages and the claims, right? So what if by seeing the value we place on things, that we start to see the value that we have within ourselves, right? And again, going back to the youth and community, when you're making enough money to support your family, and you have the freedom to do some of the things that you want to do, I mean, then it builds an empowered community, right? But we can't get there without actually providing the training tools and resources that you guys need to be successful. So part of doing that is with the Sunday sessions, right? Part of doing that is the boot camps, all of the resources, tools, and training that we provide. If you're part of the Facebook group, there's, list of firms, there's all kinds of information that we try to share with you guys, so that you can be successful in the industry in whichever pathway that you choose, right? So we have, again, Ms. Roberta, she has the workers' comp group. Mr. Sheena has a group where it's all adjusted jobs, right? Ms. Destinee has a group where it's adjusted training, right? So bringing all of those resources together, again, to make you guys successful, right? And me too. I ain't gonna lie, I'll be soaking it in too. Yeah, and it's, I definitely appreciate, the folks coming in and pouring into us, which we've had some amazing folks do. Our strategies are the same. We will continue to build the training and resource network that we're building for our community, so that you guys can tap into it, right? So that you can do ride along, so you can do sit beside, so you can do everything to be successful in this industry and provide value to whatever organization you decide to join, right? Doesn't have to be ALA of Texas, you know what I mean? Doesn't have to be severe RPMS adjusting. Wherever you decide, the information that we're providing you is valuable no matter where you go, which is why we like to partner with aware organizations that, you know, not only know what we're doing and what we're building, but can also provide career and business opportunities, right? So, you know, these Sunday sessions are sponsored by ALA. We're working on some career and business opportunities for you guys, right? We partner with Severe and, you know, a few other folks to provide those career business opportunities for you, right? And again, going back to being able to provide for your family, being able to, you know, have the freedom to do the things that you're interested in, right? Grows a community of empowered people of color, which is what we want to build, which is what we hope and are striving and God been blessing us, right? So we are, you know, doing some pretty wonderful things with the help of some amazing people. So definitely appreciate you guys just for being here. It's just some accolades. You know what I mean? We've actually, I think we're coming up on 2 years in a little bit. Doggone, seems like, yeah, y'all get the point. Some more accolades, you know, folks working with us before, giving us some reviews. But it's not about that. You know what I mean? It's really not. I mean, but Miss Roberta Mike, like I love Miss Roberta. I mean, if you're interested in workers' comp, definitely holler at Miss Roberta. She's got a wealth of knowledge in that field, right? So
Hurricane insurance, but first, I want to thank you for inviting me. First and foremost, I am so honored about this is because when I started my career in 1981, none of this was around. Being an African-American woman, I'm going to be honest with all of you, is that it was a rough road for me. I had to do things more than the normal claim professional had to, but I am successful today. One of the things that I learned, and I want to say this to all of you, is that I admire you guys getting together and creating this platform because it's just so needed. We right now, I'm being serious, we are struggling for talented adjusters in all lines of insurance.
yes, and she makes a very valid point when she says talented adjusters, right? Trained adjusters, you know, I mean, adjusters that can get into the field and operate in excellence, right? So in order to get that knowledge, in order to be a talented adjuster, you have to have the folks that can pour into you, the folks that can, you know, provide the knowledge, resources, and tools that you need to be that, all right? So this industry, and not much has changed, really. You know, we're still struggling for talented, trained, you know what I mean, developed adjusters, right? So during a disaster situation, you know, they're throwing bodies at it, right? They're throwing bodies at a storm in order to get those claims closed, right? So if you can stand out from the crowd with the training and knowledge that you have, you will build a career in this industry. Like Ms. Roberta been doing it X amount of years since she was 2 years old, right? So I mean, there's opportunity in this field, in this industry. Doesn't come overnight. I mean, definitely going to require some investment from you into yourself, depending on whichever track you want to go into. You know what I mean? Property, auto, workers' comp, bodily injury, litigation, auto. You know what I mean? There's tons of things that you can do with that one license. So definitely tap in, stay tapped in. Special shout out to the team. Definitely got some heavy hitters on the team. Ms. Tamar, Nat, we call him Ray, you know what I mean? But his government can't breast. So I definitely appreciate the team and everything that they provide, you know what I mean, for us, right? And bringing everything together for us. So appreciate y'all again. Sponsored by ALA of Texas, small IA firm here in the state of Texas, looking to create and build career and business opportunities available for you guys. So without further ado, Ms. Destinee, I think you are right. Yeah, we got Ms. Destinee on this.
I'm here. I don't know if you
Already.
guys can see. Can you see me?
Let's see here. Let me go back to.
We see your backdrop, but not you.
You see my backdrop and not me.
And actually,
I don't know, Cecil, do I need
appreciate
to do something on my end?
I don't think so. I mean,
I know my camera on, I see my little,
yeah, you
let's see.
probably need to switch it around. Yeah, that's it. Do I need to do this? Well, as we work out these technical difficulties, yeah, we
Let me
appreciate
see,
y'all.
maybe it's,
Like, I don't know. Like, I don't even see
can't
where.
see me. I had clicked off and clicked back on.
Let's see. Let me stop sharing, maybe.
Can
All
you
right,
feel
guys.
that
So,
backdrop?
yeah, we see McKinney Appraisals handling your appraisal one estimate at a time. Yeah, it's pretty good tagline. Pretty good
I
tagline.
hate that I can't. Let me see if I can screen and I'll talk through what I want to show everybody. Hello everyone, my name is Destinee McKinney. I am the proud owner of McKinney Appraisals. And I started off, I am an adjuster. I started off in property, but wound up on the Nashville deployment and fell in love with auto. And I fell in love with auto to the point where I wanted to learn auto from both sides, from the claim side, from the adjuster side to the appraisal side. And so for me to get a better understanding of the claims process itself, I just took upon myself to just learn a little more about it. And I'm trying to show my, let's see, can I show you my screen? Let's see, can I share? Okay, the screen, I'm gonna share this one. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Screen?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I'm showing you where it says auto. Cecil, can you hear me?
I can. Yes, ma'am. We can see it. The ultimate guide to becoming.
Can you see my screen and everything?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. So, like I said, I became an appraisal from a deployment. That deployment lasts, I want to say, a year and a half. So I got a lot of training. I was with Progressive Insurance. That one deployment turned into two deployments. And like to piggyback off of what Cecil said, when I started, it was rough trying to find a group to answer my questions without feeling embarrassed. I remember it was one group, I wanted to know more about litigation claims. And those people, those adjusters clown me so, but it was one guy, he DM'd me. He was like, look, this what you needed to do, this the steps you need to follow. He told me the IA firm to get to how to get on their roster. And when you go look at these platforms and look at these groups, you don't see that. You don't have that. So I also, like I said, I have a group where it's just pure training from all your CE training, any training that I think under the sun that I believe that we should know as adjusters, I put it on there because it was, when I started, it was rough, and everybody group is a safe place to, ask any kind of questions you want to know without feeling embarrassed. I'd rather for you to ask me the question than when you on the floor on your deployment, you ask your lead and your lead looking at you like, you should know this. So I just feel better to have a group where you could be yourself and you can send me messages and I tell everybody what I don't know. I know Mr. Brother Cecil know. I know Ms. Williams know. I know somebody that could get an answer to your question. If I don't know it, Google probably know it, or I know some people that know it. But to hit on this appraisal side, I just fell in love with appraisal work. My dad is a body man. He old school body shop where they used to hammer out the dents and stuff. Now body shops just buy new parts. And I know recently, what was it, last year with COVID, it was hard getting those parts from overseas. Tesla, oh my goodness, it's rough getting those parts because you can only get those parts from Tesla. Volkswagen, because my car was in the shop, it took a while to get those. Kia, Hyundai, it was real rough trying to get those parts. So that's why those rental rates were going up, and the insurance companies like, yeah, we got to figure out a new way, because most people was using up their rental, all their rental before their car even got fixed. So my goal today is just to give you a walkthrough of a typical appraisal day, from when I receive my my assignment to when I have to turn in and submit in everything, the different types of reports. I'm going to talk about different kind of repair methods, when to replace, when to remove. I also have a total loss claim that I'm actually working on, so I can, give you guys some snippets of how before you say, yeah, I want to be appraisal, I want to be an appraiser. Well, I want you to see the different software that we use, the techniques that we use. So you like, okay, I think it's something that we can use. I can use and be a successful appraiser. So normally I would receive my assignments on claim leader, and I'm pulling it up right now. So this is claim leader, and each company have their own method of signing you claims. The one that I'm with, they use claim leader. And so basically this is the information, this is the assignment sheet that they will give it. Now, this is just an example. It's like this is a dummy, I call it a dummy assignment, and you're going to see my name. It's going to talk about the car, the vehicle information, the appraisal information, and then the rates that they want you to use when you have to plug into the software. The software that we use, I got trained off of Mitchell. Progressive was using Mitchell, and they still use Mitchell. A lot of other companies use CC1. So I'm going to show you, in my opinion, Mitchell was a little easier to CC1, but once I started using CC1 a lot, I fell in love with it. But these are the rates that they want you to use, and these are the guidelines that they want you to follow when you're writing this estimate. They tell you how the different pictures that you have to take, and I'm going to show you some examples of some photos. They talk about the year of the car when you can use, and then you're gonna hear terms. I know you probably heard terms like this. I know everybody got in a car accident and had one point in time had to get an estimate. LKQ, those are like your recycle parts, that they get from other cars. But in order for insurance companies to use, they don't like to use, salvage parts or something like that, because they have to be CAPA certified. So don't think that the insurance company that's going to give you some parts is not guaranteed. They have to be CAPA certified in order for us to use them on your car and on the estimate. So you have that, LKQ, and you also have OME, and that's your original manufactured parts, where it comes directly from Ford, or it came from your car from day one. Now, after 2 years, they sell, I want to say after 2 years, maybe 3 years, the OME parts, they come out with new cars. They come, the aftermarket people get those, they buy into the prints and what they call those machines, the press machines to get the parts. So after 2 years, you get your aftermarket parts, and your aftermarket people, they're the same parts, but it's, they just take the name. You're not buying the name anymore. You're just getting it aftermarket. So, but it's still the same parts, same good parts. It's just someone else is making. So basically, they just tell you when you can use those parts. After, I want to say after 2 years, you can use LKQ parts. It depends on the state laws too, because some states, I want to say Idaho, Iowa, after 2 years or 3 years, you can still use OME parts. I'm not too familiar. I'm just familiar with Tennessee law, but I know it's one of those states you can use it. So this is what your assignment sheet look like. And I'm going to go on to the next part, and I'm going to show you how you upload your information. So let me log back in. Oh, I'll still see you. Okay. So once you load everything, you have certain photos that you have to follow. So these are the photos. I know if you ever done an auto, if you ever had to do an auto liability and you have to submit the photos to the appraiser, to the with Progressive is the MRRs that you have to send the photos to, and they give you a list of photos that you have to get, and you be so annoyed because you're like, you know, understand why they need the photos, but they need the photos to write the estimate. So these are the reasons why the pesky MRRs need those photos, and I also want to show you these photos as well. These are some that I took in the field, and it's called your four corner shots. Your four corner shots. This was one of the Teslas that I took not too long ago. This is the front. The first shot you're gonna always need is this is the center photo. This car, I want to say he backed into a tree, but with Tesla is so, their parts is so confusing. You will see in this photo where they basically demolish this car. They took everything out to fix it. It was an easy fix, but this right here is your left front photo that you're gonna take. And this is called your total loss photos. You don't necessarily have to submit all these photos, but in order for me not to miss a photo, I just take all the required photos. They call it total loss photos. So in this photo, that's your front corner. Let me see where it's gonna go. And this is more because I have to adjust how I was taking those photos, whether it was another car. This is supposed to be your center photo. It's in the left photo. This is some more just showing basically when I have to go home and write it, just showing you around the car. That's behind the car. That's your left rear. And then this shows you your rear with your license plate. And it's another license plate. And it's important because you need a lot of this information to plug into CC1. So I'm gonna just bear with me. These just the different photos that you have to submit, and how you're gonna show you where you have to upload them. And so these are a lot of photos, but basically it just show you the damage, and I want to show you the inside, how they just really took everything apart in the inside. So if you think about getting a Tesla, you might want to think twice, because to repair a Tesla is a headache. But that's the inside photos that we have to take, the inner photo. And that's the inside. And I want to show you the other side. And that's a VIN photo that we need. We need that photo, and it's another photo that's on the door that we need. But those are just some of the photos that we need. I'm gonna show you, we have to scope it. When we photos, we have to do a scope sheet. But once you've done it for so long, you kind of like, I really don't. And sometimes require you to show notes. But it's just like when you're doing property up in the house. Open each slope, what slope been hit, how many hill hits and stuff like this. Well, just like prison work, we have we have work. Let me get the scope. Oh, bear with me. I know I got it up. I had it open. And this is more of what more photos that I took of my car damage photos. Here it is. So this note that I had to write for a vehicle. This was for class. I'm still a current student of IA Path, and I'm going to go do another tangent on that. That's a good program. But this is one of the assignments that I have to do. This is scope notes. Basically, you have to break down. You start like from the front of the car, which is your front photo, and then you work clockwise. You go from left to right. So this on this car, the front bumper was messed up. When you see R, and R is remove and replace. It was nothing wrong. And a lot of this you have to remove and replace, and sometimes remove and reinstall. I'm sorry, that's remove and repair. And a lot of this that they would ask for it. And sometimes you can basically you writing the estimate while you're out in the field. So this telling me what I need to R and I remove and replace, remove, and how many hours you see the rear door, that how much did I put 4 hours here. But that's just letting me know when I get into CC1 what I need to put in what I need to put in CC1. And this is what CC1 looked like, the estimate that I was writing. So CC1 is like our Xactimate. And here is difficult when you first started, but once you play around with it, it's like second nature. So on this screen, basically you will see the insured. This we're gonna put your insurance information, the insured contact information, their house, phone number, location, and you're gonna keep going. So from there, that's the contact. This is the insurance right now. This is a fictitious company. This is Nationwide. So Nationwide want us to do this inspection on this vehicle. And then here, like I said, this is an example. This is not real. This is for a homework assignment that I have to turn in. And then you'll put the last day. A lot of time this page is already filled in for you. So you don't have to worry about this page. But your inspection, basically, this is where you come in and you're going to set up your appointment time. So I decided to do it on the 16th at 8 o'clock in the morning. I expected on the 20th. The site was at their house. This their address, 123 Sesame Street, and their phone number. Then you keep going. So when you know it's a total loss, like this vehicle that they had me doing was a 2012 Ford Fusion, and it was a total loss. And for the sake of this is a homework assignment, I'm not going to show any of their pictures. I'm just going to show you just how to input the information. So basically, when you put the VIN number in, it will decode it and it will show you. Sometimes you have to put certain stuff in and a window will pop up. But basically, from those photos, let's see. This is another example. I can't. See, we're not saying it was important because you're gonna need this right here, that registration number, because you're gonna need to put it here. You're gonna need your mileage information when you take those photos. So that's why it's important that we take good photos. And see, that's another, it shows the mileage that you'll have to put in the CC1. And then this right here is really important because this tells you a lot about the car. It tells you where it's manufactured, give you manufacturer date. It also gives you the VIN number. It gives you the color code of the vehicle. That's important. It also gives you trim information because you're gonna take this little sticker right here, a whole lot of information, because this where that sticker come in, your exterior color, your interior color, your paint code. That's where, SEL, that's where that sticker come in. And that's why when they ask you for the odometer, when they ask you for the production date, everything is on that sticker. And on this side, this is where you're going to put your impact. Where for that vehicle, it's a total loss. The whole front end is gone. The whole front end is crushed in. And this is where you start writing the estimate. And it's a long, like the front bumper, you have to overhaul. When you overhaul, you're taking the bumper off, putting on a new bumper cover. That's when they come in with the aftermarket parts, the grill, upper and lower. You'll see a lot of LKQ parts that I have to replace. And then on the side, you see what this I'm replacing. the front fog assembly with the aftermarket part. And so you could just go through and I just want to give you guys like an overview of this, how we, from the photos, this is how we write the estimate. And car cover, hazardous material, when anytime's paint involved, you're gonna put that at $3. Car cover, and then if the frame, like this one, the frame is very messed up, you have to put like a set up and measure where they put on the machine and they're measured. That's another photo. When you take a photo, let me see. And that stick right there, I wish I could show you that. I wish my camera was running. This is called a dent stick. The dent stick shows us any kind of suspension damage, if the car is leaning, if the car is not straight, if the car it's on the ground, it's supposed to be in the center of the car. It'll show you, like, especially if it's front end damage, if the car, you know, is not up straight or not sitting up a certain way, we could tell when the stick is in front of the car. And we look at like, oh yeah, it's suspension damage or it's damage underneath that we can't see. So when they take it to the body shop is going to break it down and they're going to get us a supplement of the stuff that we can't see underneath the car. So like I say, this is my car, that's my car, but I do have other photos where, let me see if I can get where they have like some major damage. Let me see if I can get to it.
Yeah, it's all good information. Yeah, I mean, so I like the similarities between property and auto. Yeah, I mean, so there's
I could barely hear you.
Oh, so I was saying that there are some similarities between property and auto. I mean, so I've been primarily on the property side, but I do see, you know, some things that are the same. But Ms. Rhonda was saying, like, do you have a strategy? I know you said left to right, but
I can't hear you.
uh,
I don't know if
Mike
it's
check.
You sound fine on my end, Cecil.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, awesome. Now I was saying that there's some similarities between property and auto. I mean, but Ms. Rhonda was saying, do you have a strategy on how you take your photos, or you just pretty much take the
Yeah.
photos that they ask?
We have a strategy. We go from left to right. So when you're looking at your car, the driver's side is the left side, where's the side we start from. So we will go from, I don't know if you guys can see those photos. This will show better. So we'll take our photos first. If I can get this to show. Okay, so it's all your main photos that you have to get. Your front photo, that's your center photo. This is not in order. But you start with your front photos. That's your front photo. Then you can get your measurement. Then you go to the driver's side. You take that, you get your corner photo. When I say corner photo, like this one, this on your right. Well, actually, this is a corner shot. This is the one actually I'm writing on right now. It has front end damage. That's the estimate that I showed you guys. This right here is a total. It's a complete total because of the year of the car. So basically, can I go back to the front? All right, this is a corner photo. You got this corner 1, 2, 3. That's your corner shot. Then they didn't take it in order. That's another corner shot. That's your right corner. You make sure when you take it, you have to have 1, 2, 3 corners. And then that's your rear photo. That's your rear right photo where you can clearly see 1, 2, 3. The purpose of this is to show us all the damages around. Then it's another corner, your 3, 1, 2, 3, but we can see, okay, it's no damage on that side. And then that's the rear. Okay, it's nothing wrong with that. So basically those are list of photos that you have to take. And then it will show you on the on your assignment which one that you take. I overtake them. Like here, you got to do your inside. They want the inside door photo. And this one, the airbag one, I believe this person hit something. And then, like, for instance, if you can't get the mileage or anything like that, or change receipt, you can get the mileage. Let's see, this is the mileage here. You can use that to get, you know, pretty good. If you can't turn the car on for any reason, those mileage, you can use an oil change, and, you know, we do some math. This right here, this was in the front end. This is another photo. I don't want to bore you guys, so I'm just telling you all everything. But this car, what's wrong with the car and why it's a total? It's a couple things that we look at. We look at the year of the car, the mileage. I'm gonna show you the NADA value of this car too. And in the state of Tennessee, it's 75%. Each state have different total loss threshold, and you could put that information in the system. And once you reach or come close to it, it'll send you a message, hey, you're reaching the threshold, you're reaching the threshold. Some companies want you to write the complete estimate anyway. So for this, I'm replacing the hood, I'm replacing, they call it the bumper cover assembly. What comes in the assembly is the bumper cover, the absorber, and you see this bar right here? This bar is messed up. That condenser is messed up. I have to replace that. It's a grill that goes in front of that, and each piece of that grill is a different piece that I have to get, and I have to price it. Sometimes with CC1, it'll already have different vendors in there where they have different prices where you can pull, it'll automatically pull. Sometimes it don't. You have to go to carparts.com to price it, but CC1 normally will pull it in for the LKQ parts and the aftermarket parts, and the OME parts, OME and LKQ. Sometimes your OME is cheaper than LKQ. Use what's cost effective. They looking for, when we do our estimates, what is cost effective. Are we taking the time out to see what are the costs of the other parts, or are we just put some down trying to push this claim out the door? So some of them are like, hey, we need you to do you know, your due diligence and look at, you know, what's the cheapest, not the highest. This is another photo with the VIN number. So your photos that you have to have is the four corners photo. You have to have your manufacturing sticker. You have to have this photo of the front VIN number. What else you have to have? You have to have 3 pictures of the damaged area. And then those just your basic, but for your total loss is those photos plus your interior photos, which is your passenger side, your driver's side, open up the trunk, open up the gas tank, the gas door, looking at it, taking a picture of the engine, getting a picture of the dipstick, because that give us all around look of your car. So if it is a total, well, how did they keep their engine? Well, they didn't keep their engine good, because look how dirty that oil is. Each one of those is a deduction off your conditioning report. I don't know if how many people had a total loss, so you get their conditioning report and they said, well, why they took $50 off here? Why they took $50 here off my paint? And so it's certain things that subtract from your ACV, which is your actual cash value of the car. And so from the actual cash value, if you have anything, scratches, any kind of condition, like your carpets were dirty, your headliner, the not carpet, the cloth is coming from the headliner, you got scratches, oxidation, holes in the seat, well, that's where they come and they make your deductions from it. That's how we come up with this, how much we're going to pay you for the total loss. So this is one, like I said, this is the one I'm actually writing right now, the one I showed you on CC1. And that one came out to let me see. This one, so The threshold, I want to say, let me go back, because for this one, I mean, so if you guys ever curious about how much your car is worth, go into NADA, because they do use this NADA. They do use this to get how they're gonna come up with the figure, and then when it has to be come up. I promise you that's working. Everything was working great before. Let's see it. So I don't know if you guys can see see it. I don't know if you guys can see it, but the value was like 5,000. Let me see if I can make the bigger. Oh, that's good. So the value is like 5,000. I know it's hard to see, but the value was 5,000. So what I would do, since I know it's 75% in Tennessee, I just multiply this by 0.75, and it gives me the total loss threshold for to come up with the car. And so, like I said, I am a student of IAPAF. And a lot of this information you can find online. What is estimatics? And all this stuff is free. Before I chose to be in this program, it was another program that I was in, but it wasn't a good fit for me. So I switched over to IAPAF. And Chris Stanley is very personable. He would get on the phone with you. He would talk you through any problem that you're having. Especially if you're trying to figure out if this is a good way for you. You can join. They have a membership where it's a mentorship program where you can join. When I got in, it was like $297. It could have gone up now, but all this information you get, you don't even have to get the this is not the certification, but you can go in and look at how to do a flood vehicle, how to count hail on a vehicle, how to basically, it'll give you the fundamentals. And then if you're ready to like, okay, I'm ready, I think I'm going to go ahead and get my certification. Well, you can do the certification with him. When I did it at the time, it was $3,000. Now, I don't know if it's gone up or not, but it's a good program. This right here, you can also find, this is auto estimatics. And like I said, a lot of this stuff is free. And I want to tell everybody, I'm not a spokesperson for them. I just go to school. I don't want to get in trouble or anything, but a lot of this stuff, it's free. You can Google it. I could put the links down and send you guys these links. But this right here, this talks about what's R&I, how to blend, because I want to show you my camera isn't working. It's another work. This right here, this is the sheet right here that tells me, okay, what to put on my estimate. What do I need to, when I take the fender off, what else goes off with the fender? Let me see, can I go back to that picture? Okay. What, like for instance, with the fender, this is your fender. What goes off with the fender? Well, the liner, everybody has their fender liner. So this is gonna be R&I. Your headlight is gonna be R&I, and the bumper, they're gonna R&I, because this right here, your fender liner holds your bumper on. It's like clips and stuff that clips on, and they bolt and they screw on. And then when they say blend, okay, well, sometimes I don't know if you ever see the different colors, like on people cars where, oh, they just got their car done, but one side is shinier and the other side is dull. Well, they didn't blend that to the adjacent panel. So right here, you're gonna blend, let's say if I get a new hood or if I get a new fender, let's say fences, they have to replace this fender. So once they replace this fender, they're gonna have to blend to the hood. And then they're gonna blend to the hood and then they got to replace everything they took off. Or let's say if this is on the door here, what do you have to take off the door? Oh, well, I'm gonna have to take this mirror off. I'm gonna have to take the belt molding. I'm gonna have to take the trim panel and everything. I'm gonna have to take all this off the door. Now, sometimes they might not, they can use a car cover, or sometimes like you see these arrows, they have to blend to this door. Okay, if this door is damaged and they have to replace the paint, they have to blend here. So every time you see an arrow is where they have to blend the paint. So it can be uniform, it can look like the same on each side. But this right here, like I said, this is once you in the program, like I said, you can get this information. All this is free if you guys want to take a look at it. And the lady asked me about it's not on here. It's a photo list that's on here that'll tell you. And then here it gives you the blend guidelines, like certain paints you can't blend. If it's like a white car, or black, something like that, you really can't blend. You know, it's one of those type colors that you can't blend. They just, you know, just paint the door and it probably glossy on one side and then the next side. So this right here, this just tell you everything of what you need to take off, what you need to replace, what you need to remove, and you put all that on your estimate. And this goes on here, just more information. And then let me see. I'm trying to see, do they have that the lady asked about the photo. It's a photo guide. And like I said, I'm gonna drop these links off and I'm gonna put them in the chat so you guys, you know, can go and read. Like I said, you use his program, but his program is known throughout the industry. Like Airbro is one of the people that's one of his company. Alacrity is another company that hires from him. SCA Claims, I don't know if anyone heard about them. They are big people. I actually got a contract with them right now. Cedric is with them. I'm trying to think, it's another company. They have 42 companies that get their students and they waive that 2-year. And that was another thing I looked at when I was in his program, where they waive the 2-year work requirement. Like if you go and take somebody else's program, well, 9 times out of 10, they might not get you because, you know, you got that 2-year, they want you to have a 2-year experience. Well, with his program, you don't have it. That was another reason why I switched from the other program I was in to this one. And there are 10 states that require you to have appraisal license, and some of them are reciprocal. I want to say the Pennsylvania is reciprocal. Once you get this one, it reciprocates, I think, to New York. But these are the states that you have to have an auto appraisal license. Like this one in North Carolina, you just pay a fee. Most of them you have to take a test. But I do know once you take that in Pennsylvania, it does reciprocate to other states. And I know some people, oh, well, I don't know anything about cars. How am I gonna get in it? I didn't know anything about cars until, like I said, I went on that deployment. You don't necessarily got to know every part of a car because a lot of don't know they change parts. Manufacturer, they change names of parts and everything every year. But you have a community with IA Path, they show you, hey, all you gotta do is take a picture of the part. Somebody didn't seen that part or somebody had that problem, that hey, they can send you a message like, hey, this is what it is. And they also, with this program, it tells you the repair time. I had a good example to show you guys when my camera isn't working of the difference between repair and replace. you know, you could take a can and you crumble up that can, and anytime you see those deep dents in a car like that, you have to replace it because it takes too much time for the body shop guy to ding out all those things. It's cheaper to just go on to carparts.com, buy a new fender, have them to repaint it and put it on the car. Then each crease that you see, you go to multiply it by 2. So they got something called the fist method, where you can take your fist and each fist is an hour. So if it's like a deep, let's say for instance, if it's a deep dent or something like that, if you have 2 fists, make 2 fists across, that's okay, that's 2 hours. Then you're gonna multiply by 2, that's 4 hours. Versus, okay, so it could be, let's say about what, $65 an hour. And then sometimes it's just cheaper to say, hey, we just gonna get a new fender or a new door and gonna call it a day. But like I said, a lot of this stuff, I'm gonna send you guys the link so you guys can read up on it. And with this program, you would have a job. I got a job before I even graduated. And I'm already getting experience, you know, with your contracts. When you do decide to, when you graduate and do it, they pay you by the claim. So for instance, the contract that I have now is $60 a claim. Then you have 60 free vowels each time that you have to go. But if you have multiple inspections that day, it's like that 60. If you have, I cover, how many counties I cover? I think I cover about 10 counties, maybe more counties than that. So it's the mileage from my house to point A, from point A to point B back to my house. So it's 60 off the top. So they pay for that. It just depends on some of them. You can renegotiate probably after 6 months to a year of how much money. I had some people, they pay $75 a claim. It just depends on what company you go with and your skill level. They would give you, I had worked heavy equipment. I've taken this heavy equipment had electrical problems. Some things is hard to show, especially I had some health claims that it's hard to show claim, health claim. They give you like a zebra board, and sometimes it's gonna have to go to the body shop. So when you write your estimate, it's really a guesstimate. It's subjective to, you know, what you see and what you see at the time, and then it's gonna come back. It's like a supplement. You don't get a supplement. You don't get paid for supplements, but you try to write that first estimate so you won't have any supplements. But if you get a supplement, like I got a supplement next week, the car was in the flood. Well, I couldn't determine that the engine was bad until they got a diagnostic. Well, they had got an hour diagnostic, but they talking about, well, we need 4 more. They need 5 hours. Well, what did you do in that first hour that I gave you? Did you break it down? What you do? So when I go Monday, they have to show me proof of why they need more time. And for that, every supplement, you have that just like in property, they have to show you the photos. And so once you start seeing the photos, you sit down like, yeah, maybe I can give them another 2 hours. You know, I'm not going to give them the whole 5 because I already know this is a 16 Toyota Camry that's been in a flood. And then you got engine damage. They're gonna, 9 times out of 10, the insurance company not gonna want to pay for a new engine, so they're gonna total it out. So at that point, you have, I want to show you, after you take your photos, after you write your estimate, there's something called a appraisal report. So with your appraisal report, this is for that Ford Fusion that I had showed you guys. Basically, right here, it's going to tell you everything that you've done. Did you speak with the owner present at the house? No, they were, and everything you did. UPD is unrelated damage. So if they had prior damage to what they already had, like with that vehicle had no prior physical UPD damage. So it asks you what you did. So you only gonna write, just like in property, you only gonna write for what you see until you get a supplement back and you get your proof. So with that vehicle, front bumper cover cover, absorber, enforcer, hood, right and left fender, fender linings, missing light, fog light. So everything, like I showed you in that first picture, this is everything that I saw that needed, like the support, radiator support, condenser, all that's gonna have to be replaced. And then it asks for possible open supplement. You let them know here, yeah, it could be engine, undercarriage, suspension damage, and possible frame damage. So you let them know ahead of time, okay, but this is your open items that you have potential, for supplementing. This could be, more damages. Any owners are concerned, and he concerned about using aftermarket parts and the vehicle being a total loss. You have some people that want to keep their vehicle for sentimental reasons, but I know they will fight you tooth and nail. Some of them, I got a 1999 Pontiac, and they think they should get top dollar. No, you got 100,000 miles on this vehicle. You pay them by the actual cash value, and then any deductions from their conditioning report, then their comparables and things like that. That's how you come up with the total loss. And then labor rates, you tell them, hey, I use the local labor rates that's in the area. They also have something called Labor Rate Hero. You can go on and you can see the labor rates that's in the area, and that's the rates that you can use on your assignment sheet. It will show you some labor rates. Sometimes you can use them for all other insurance companies. Some insurance company, it says no, sometimes your estimate will be sent back because of your labor rate. So you just be careful, try to ask the body shop, like, what's your guys' labor rates? And then your part search. This was I was telling you guys, where you can go on and you can see the different parts. And this is also, it's like a big salvage yard, but these salvage yards, it's like the Craigslist of salvage parts. You just go in there, you can see all kind of parts. You get the name and the phone number. Now, most of your body shops already got a place where they get all their parts from, but we have to show a limit to how much we're willing to pay for. So if a fender is $100, look, you only have $100 to spend on this. We already found the part, so basically it's $100. That's how much we're willing to pay for a new fender. That's just an example. If they have any, if it's at a tow yard, anything, taking those storage fees, you would get that piece of paper, and you will in claim leader, you can put how much it is. If it's $40 a day they charging for storage fees and administrative fees, and that's where you put it here. Estimated repair, this is where you're going to take your labor rates, because back on CC1 with the total, you can add up the mechanical time and the body time, I believe. You're going to add that up and divide it by 4, and they'll tell you how long that the vehicle will be in the shop. If the vehicle driver, you go put this. If they have a shop of choice, if a tear down is needed on the vehicle, if the airbags deployed, and then sometimes you have to give the estimate to the owner or to the body shop. No, you just put no. So this is basically a template of how the appraisal report will look, and this is what you're going to submit along with your photos and your estimate to your agency, to let's say if it's SCA who you working for. So when I say this is, let's see, you're not going to do your material, it's your labor rate. This right here is what you're going to add up, and then you're going to divide it by 4 to come up with your how many days the vehicle is going to be in the shop. So I know this is long and drawn out. I just wanted to show you guys, this is from beginning to end, how you do basically an appraisal. This is the other side of how we do appraisal work. We go out. I know for my first one, it was a cold winter day in Tennessee. It was ice on the vehicle, and I had to figure out a way how to chop that ice off the vehicle to get a VIN photo, take all my photos. Some of those some of these cars, you see how it's placed. You have to be creative. You have to stoop over, be creative to get all sides of the vehicle. But your most important photos, your VIN photo, your damage photo, the manufacturing sticker, those your important, and your mileage. This is important photos that you're gonna need in your four corners. You can probably skirt away without taking all the photos that I showed you guys. But for me, so I know that I won't miss anything and I don't have to go back, because you don't get paid for going back because you missed a photo. That's why I say you take all your photos there. And look at your photos too while you're there, because they don't want no photos that's cropped out. They want to be able to see the car just like this. And Brad is one of the instructors with IAPath. He will send your assignment back. I done had my sent back 3 times. And I'm like, man, what's wrong with my photos? He's like, well, you see here, it's not that. It's cropped off here, or it's blurred here. And I appreciate him doing it, because now when I take my photos, I'm more conscious and looking at my photos, you know, and make sure everything is straight, not only for myself, because the insurance company has to look at this as well. And then they give it to their insured. That's pretty much my presentation, was to show you guys what I do every day, appraisal report. I'm open to take some questions.
Well, I appreciate that. You know what I mean? So, you know, I think most of the questions that we had in the chat was about, you know, how do you get the training, but you shared that you went through IAPath. So,
Yeah.
if you, so if you want to drop some
And
links.
he having a live class on the 15th. I forgot to share that with you guys. If you go and register, look, he said we're doing a live online class registration. It ends September the 5th, and it's gonna start September the 11th. If you guys interested, like I said, they do have payment arrangements. If you guys can't pay all the money, they break it into three payments. When I got mine, I got everything. I got the heavy equipment, I got the auto heavy equipment, RV, plastic. At the time they had plastic cars, and they have diminished value. Those are good skills to have, especially if you want to moonlight. Like a lot of this stuff, I'm going to moonlight, because a lot of people, if you ever look in your auto, in your policy, you can invoke your appraisal. If you're not happy with what the insurance company gonna hire there, you're gonna hire somebody. Well, guess what? I'll be the person that you hire on your behalf to go against the insurance company. Like, hey, you owe her some money because you left off the navigation system, or your mileage was wrong. So you will hire me to stand, you know, stand up for you in the show, where they miss money sitting on the table. So
Right, absolutely. Right on, right on. So Miss D says, about how many do you do per day? And
it
your
depends
average.
on how many they give me, because like that now, be careful what you ask for, because they will load you down. They will give you 5. Sometimes they give you they'll hurry up and give you 5, and then it depends on how fast that you turn them in. So the most that I've done a day is about 3 or 4.
Okay.
And that's just that's doing the inspection, taking my photos, and then scoping. Like I scope, and I probably stay up the night and write my estimate, or I write my estimate the next day. It's just like, you got once you get the assignment, you got so many hours that you have to call them. So it's like you got 24 hours to call them, and then, you know, call them to set up the appointment. And you go do the appointment. You have to status your claims, because if you don't status your claims, they will send you messages. Did you go out here and do this? So when you status your claim, you just letting them know, hey, I already did the inspection, I already got my photos, I'm writing this up, and you're gonna get it tomorrow. So right now it's like about 4 or 5 I probably will do.
Nice, nice. I know you say you do about 10 counties, that you going out 60 miles each way there. So
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So yeah, it's like 60 miles going one way. You give them 3 miles, you know. So if you got 5 inspections, well, that's 60, and then they all, like, for instance, I had to go to Mississippi. I had to go to Golden, Mississippi. Well, that's
Wow.
60 miles off me going there and coming back. I'm getting all those miles. So
Mhm. And
they
how
really
much?
get you with the hmm,
Yeah, with the mileage. So
you can
Miss,
make some money now. I got a friend, she making bank because she making not only she make a lot of money off her mileage. Like she would take the ones that's out of town and
mhm.
she made, I think she did maybe 5 or 4, she made 1,400 or something like that. I said, Jesus Christ, girl. But she working with more than one company. So I know she got 3 companies, and you can work for as many companies as you want to. And as long as you keep your files separated, because I'm just waiting in order for me to get on another roster, I'm just waiting to graduate. And I've been lollygagging around. I need to go ahead and graduate.
Right. Quit
So
playing. Quit playing.
yeah, because I said, well, I didn't work off of y'all. I didn't make some money off of y'all. So I guess I go ahead and graduate. And if you follow Chris's path, you will be up and running. Like literally, before I even did homework number 4, I already had a job.
Nice,
And
nice,
then
nice.
us coming in, we already licensed as
Mhm.
independent adjusters, man. You
Right.
are already good because he go through all that stuff. So basically they want people like us. It's a need for us, especially if you're already on the adjuster side. The difference between appraisers and adjusters, one writes the check. We write the estimate, the
Mm,
adjusters write the check. That's it.
yeah, gotcha. That makes perfect sense now. Well, bang, right on. So,
Yeah.
I said, do you mind sharing your average monthly or annual pay, or the name of a few rosters?
Now I can shoot off some rosters, but okay, with iPath, like you can go in there and say, oh yeah, I got this experience in appraisal. If your name don't pop up on the email from them, yeah, you might can work for them, but you're not gonna get like the top dollar or they gonna look at you kind of funny. So some of the companies, and I had to tell one of the instructors, like, I'm an independent adjuster, so most of these rosters I'm already on.
Right.
Alacrity is one, Alacrity, Arrow, Equity, Arrow, who else?
SCA.
SCA. You got what's it called? AD. Okay, think of the AD something. And there was somebody else that sent me one. Because he got 42. It's 42 companies that he partners with, and let me
Yeah, you said that class was about 3,000, you said?
be honest with you. That program done went up since when I got in it. Cause now they doing different levels. They breaking it up more. Uh, where is that?
Gotcha.
But like I said, I did mine. I was making a lot of money on that deployment, and I was looking out for what I'm going to do after this deployment. Cause I already saw that it's gonna be slow. I had one. I only been on one deployment, and that deployment didn't work out. So,
For sure, for
uh,
sure.
so right now, here is the site. Oh, here it is. SCA, ACD, Arrow, Alacrity, Paysetters. This is like some of the companies that they partner with. And once you graduate, like they hungry, they want us. And I know Arrow had bought out a small firm, and because
Mhm.
they were growing their auto section. So like I said, it's money to be made. And I tell everybody, like, don't sit there and wait for opportunity to happen. Go create that opportunity. I wasn't like when I left Nashville and there was some good money in Nashville. I said, what I'm gonna do now, like just in case uh I can't land another deployment or something. What I'm gonna do at that time. So I chose this. This right here is the site. Let me see. This the certifications that they got the IA path, the CC1, level 1, level 2. So when I graduate, I'm gonna already have the level 1. Whenever I graduate, I'm gonna have the auto damage certification, and I'm gonna have the CC1, and then I'm gonna have heavy equipment, all this, because I had already bought all this. So when I graduate, I'm gonna have all this information.
Nice.
Where is this right here is literally, if you follow this path, you'll be working before you know it, making money. And so you do have, I think Alacrity have position. It's a remote position where all you do is photo estimates. You write from photo, so you don't have to leave your house. So there are some remote places, and then you do have some, like Cedric, you could do photos only. In photos only, you just taking your corner shots, whatever photos that they need, and you writing up a scope report and you giving it to them. And that's like, depending on what company, that's $40 plus mileage. And see, with me, I subcontract myself. So not only I work with that company, I work with another independent appraiser person. I run his photos. So when he overload with something, well, I just say, hey, shoot your photos, please pay me for the photos and the mileage. And and I write your scope notes for you, and I give you the photos. So whenever I don't have work, he got too much work, I just, I just do his photo, and he get a portion, and I get a portion. But this right here shows you like the syllabus, and here it is. That's the payment. Is he went up. The total cost now is $4,997, but you can make payments, 3 payments of $1,700. So, but all this coming with the so when it says the community, it's like a big chat. You can get on there and you can chat, like if you have any problems, anything, or like you don't know what this part is, or you freaking out because you can't find the manufacturer sticker, you can, send somebody a message and they can message you back. Like I said, I got Chris' phone number. If I have a problem, I call him. He can walk me through something. Brad is another one. He's another good one. He'll talk you off the ledge too, give you some confidence. That's the one I was telling you. I had one assignment that he gave back to me 3 times, and I'm looking at him like, man, what's wrong? But he said, I'm just trying to make you better, and this right here. So you appreciate somebody staying on you like they are, and they are true to their name. Like Chris's motto is he wants everybody to succeed. He wants everybody to walk his path, and he was just like you, Cecil. He didn't have, when he got into this field, it wasn't a lot of information out there for auto appraisal. So he came up with this system, and his system worked. So like I said, it's a good program. Like this is the best $3,000 I spent. And that's the honest to God truth, because just like college, I didn't get a job this fast. Like I got a job out of this program. So
Right. Yeah, I know a couple of folks with some degrees doing adjusting work, making more money than they would be in their field. So yeah, it's definitely an opportunity for sure. For sure.
yeah.
And actually, I've been interested in the auto side for a minute. I think I'm gonna go ahead and make that leap after, you dropping the knowledge on me like that and seeing how similar they were. You know what I mean? So I
Very
appreciate it.
the same stuff, man. Like literally the same photo. It's like they say, you just changing dance partners. It's the exact same.
Straight up.
The exact same. And like I said, and it's not a lot of women in this either. So they happy to see women and minorities get into it. And I went to one farm, and I'm out there after I took the photos of the vehicle. I'm out there playing with the cow.
Straight up.
So
Awesome.
yeah. So hopefully this was beneficial, and I'm gonna drop these sites in the chat so you guys can research it and look it on your own. I know the price is steep, but you make your money back. Just like with your license, you make your money back on your first deployment or your first, you make your money back.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. Right on. So
yeah.
I appreciate woo, right on. Definitely appreciate your time for real, for real. You know what I mean? So you definitely, for me, answered a few questions that I actually had wrote down. You actually answered them while you were talking about it. So I ain't got no questions. And then, we got all the ones in the chat there. So one of the things that we talked about prior to the class, so uh, how do you get an appraiser license? We could have went through that, right? Where do you go to get your training? She mentioned where you can go and do that. But one of the things that we thought would be beneficial is what do they do? What does a day look like as an appraiser, right? So for me, this was very valuable because no, okay, that's what y'all do. Okay, I can do that. I can do that, right? So it's very valuable for me. And hopefully you all also found some value in it as well. So about how long is the class, Miss Destinee? What was it?
Okay, so you could finish this class in 3 days. You could finish this class in a month. You could finish it in 6 months, or you could be like me and finish it in a year. It depends on you. It's very quick. It's like literally you doing one assignment and you turn it in. And as long as your assignment's right, it go by pretty fast. You could do it within a week.
Nice. Now, do you have to pay for CC1 and all that, all the software and?
Okay, so so with CC1, so within the program, you don't have to pay for CC1 because you use the student version. But when you get on with a firm, they may have discounts where it's $189 a year. I think I think right now without the discount is $289 a month, something like that. So it's just like Xactimate, but it don't have as many glitches as Xactimate been having. I've been seeing.
Yeah, they've been acting a fool these past few weeks, man. Like, yeah, agreed. Okay.
So like I said, you guys don't be scared to try something new. When I finally jumped into it, I was scared. Matter of fact, I had a whole panic attack on the phone with Chris Stanley. Oh, he also have a book. If you go online, I know it's a free copy of it floating. It's called Auto Appraisals Playbook. Everything that I went over today is in that playbook. If you type in that name and free, I saw it today and it's free. And it gives you all like I wish my camera was showing. I could have showed y'all all like the matrices and the vehicle parts and stuff like that. You guys can see all that from the book. And he also has independent property. He's with property and auto. He also has a resume book, networking book. When I say this guy put it down, like
Wrote it down
you
and
do
made
because
it
you
plain.
don't want to. If you don't want to be successful, it's because you don't want to. This guy literally gave you this guide that works. So I'm 100% behind him, and I'm to the point like, yeah, I need to graduate. So I showed y'all some of my homework. So I got to go turn that in.
There you go. Might as well. So,
Yeah.
all right. So, Miss Sandra, you can definitely make some good money. So you figure about $40 to $60, $70 per car, depending on how many you
Yeah, but
can
see,
knock out.
yeah, but like I said, 60 is where they probably start you off at, but you could renegotiate within 6 months, 6 months to a year. You could boost it up to, you can I know Brad makes over $100,000.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
And see, it's a difference between, okay, with heavy equipment, you're paid differently because with heavy equipment, you use something called adjust right. And adjust right, you only pay by the claim, but it doesn't put all the parts, like you got to research the parts. So with that, so you paid hourly with that. So with hourly, I can't remember how much, I don't know if it's $120 or something like that, but it's a lot more when you start doing heavy equipment and stuff like that. And so, like I said, I know Brad makes over $100,000.
That's true. Yeah, and auto.
So, and then,
Nice.
Kate, so you necessarily don't, when you go on deployment, you don't even have to give up your territory. If you train somebody to take your photos and run for you, all you gotta do is write your estimates at night so you don't have that. Well, you working on 2 deployments. No, I'm an appraiser and I'm an adjuster. It's 2 different things. Just
Right. That's a very good point.
don't write for the same company. That's all I say. But
Right. That's a very
Yeah.
good point. Okay, nice, nice. Well, I
Mhm.
definitely appreciate you, Miss Destiny. So, uh, I don't see any other questions in the group chat, and I definitely appreciate you for coming in, dropping jewels on us. Like I said,
I
I learned a lot.
appreciate it.
I appreciate you. So, folks, I mean, that's pretty much all we got for the evening. I mean, we went a little bit over. Definitely appreciate Miss Destiny for staying a little bit, past our scheduled time and, you know, pouring into us. Yeah, please. So McKinney Appraisals, definitely it's a firm that she's working on and she's making money using this pathway. You know what I mean? If this pathway is a pathway that you want to go via the auto or the heavy equipment or any of that, definitely IA path may be an opportunity for you. We've actually got TJ. She does the IA Path liability training, so she's actually been on with us before as well. So we're very familiar with the folks over at IA Path, and I ain't heard nothing bad about them from nobody. So I'm thinking about going and see what I can do
I
with
don't
that
got
auto
nothing bad
side.
to say about him, man. They true.
All
He
right,
is true to his word.
straight up. Hey, there you go. There you go. So, like I said, there are different pathways in the industry once you have that all lines adjusters license. It's not just property, not just auto, but we see what it looks like in the day of an auto adjuster. We've walked through what it looks like in the day of a property adjuster, right? We've talked about the mindset that you have to have. We talked about the workers' comp. We've talked about business interruption. You know what I mean? So these are just some of the previous cohorts and Sunday sessions that we had previously because we want you guys to get this knowledge. We want you guys to be able to make a decision for you and your family, right? So to be able to make 100,000 like Brian, right? To make 200,000 like Destinee here in a little bit. You know what I mean? So it's definitely out there. There is not a shortage of money anywhere in the world. You just got to put in the work and invest in yourself. So like she said, best 3,000 she ever spent, 5,000 now if you want level 3, but invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. You know what I mean? So couldn't exude it more, right? So you have to, right? So a lot of the training we try to offer free for you guys as much as possible, but that may not always be the case. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get like Chris, you know what I mean? 5,000, you know what I mean? So, but that's pretty much all we have for you guys. We definitely appreciate you for coming out, for joining us for the Insurance Career Training Center, ICTC Sunday sessions with our special guest, Destinee McKinney of McKinney Appraisals. Appreciate you again, fam. And yeah, doggone it, that's it. I love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. And if you could do something about it, I would love you anyway, doggone it. So you all enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will see you next Sunday, where we would discuss resumes, I guess. Yeah, what y'all want to see? So we was gonna do resumes today, but we want to, you know what I mean? So we was get some good information. I want to cut it off, you know what I mean? And, I'm nosy, so I want to know all the Jews, right? So so next week we'll probably go over resumes and what are some things that you need to have in your resume and how to go about looking for keywords and things of that nature. So we'll let you guys know. We'll let you guys know if that changes or not, or if we, who our special guest is and all that good stuff. So again, you all enjoy the rest of your evening and holla at me. So, bam, there we go. We're gonna stick around for a little bit. So we dropped the playbook in the chat. There's also a few links in the chat as well. If you guys want to go ahead and grab that before we jump off, to make sure you get that knowledge and information there. Yeah, we just give y'all a little bit of time there. Let's see. Yeah, Miss Linda says that's great info, Destinee. Appreciate you. Miss Sandra says thanks. Miss Maria, Sean. So we'll probably put the recording in the My Adjuster Pro app under the library section. So if you have a student account, which is free as well, you can get that via alaoftexas.com. So there's the library, there's the Adjuster GPT. So there are several tools within the software that you guys can use to, expand your knowledge. So this will probably be in the library there. Probably end of the month. So we're doing this until end of August. So we'll probably just throw them all out there at the end of August or something, put them all in there. But yeah, it's also, we're streaming live on Facebook. So I think it's gonna save it. I don't know. I think it may be up there for 24 hours or something. I don't know. I mean, I'll check those settings when we get off. I mean, but I think it's up for 24 hours. And then it'll be in the library. Right? So Ms. Martin says, thank you, Destinee. Appreciate you. So yeah, that's it, y'all. I'm saying, if y'all ain't grabbed that book. Oh, it's in the chat, Marie. So if you scroll up, Miss Sanders had it right there. Yeah, man. So scroll up in the chat a little bit, and then you'll see it. And I'll give you another minute to go ahead and grab that. Also, you may be able to look for it in Google as well. Mr. Patrick says, thank you. I appreciate you for being here, Mr. Patrick. All you guys for being here. Yeah, thank you very much. You got it. All right, Miss Marie, we're gonna jump out. So Miss Destinee, thank you again. I really appreciate you.
No problem. Appreciate you too.
All right, now y'all be easy now.